They've got some extremely talented D tackles, but I think what's going to happen is, it, hear me on what I'm saying. But I'm dealing with this with my running backs in high school. When you play an easier opponent, like the holes are just massive, and your athleticism is working. So that happened to us week one. Last week we played a team called well, we played Bowles, like actually coached lacrosse there. We played Bowles High School, traditionally strong powerhouse here, and we should have won the game, but it came down to the last minute. We choked. We were winning. Ironically, kind of just like the FSU game. I was like, oh my God, this is deja vu. But when I went back and I watched the film, I looked at the holes, and the kids weren't trusting their steps or their path or their eyes. They just immediately saw something and like, oh, I got to hit the hole now. And that comes when you're playing against a good or a quality opponent. And that happened. One of the benefits of sitting where I was sitting in the back of the end zone is that's my favorite view of the game. And I'm watching, and I'm like, damn, if the guy would have been a little bit more patient, he could have pressed the A gap, or he should have probably. It was an outside run. He should have went outside. I think it comes as they get slowed down and they get more faith in the offensive line. But the downside to having running back by committee is that you don't get the rhythm of the game. That's why I don't like having three guys get them. Like, give me two guys and your one main starter that gets the bulk of your reps, and then let them get the flow of the game. And then maybe you bring in a Toafili in a situational matchup. Like you really want to throw the ball out the backfield, or you want the defense to have to. You want to get a little trickery with that. But I'm not as concerned. I think it'll get better. I don't think we'll see a front seven like that until Clemson. And I think this offensive line, they just got to stay healthy-ish. But this offensive line, as they get used to each other, they're going to do well. Because when you look at the passing game, that was what I was more concerned about. Because I knew we were going to have to throw the ball. It's will we have time for Jordan Travis? And outside of a couple plays, it was really solid blocking. I think the running backs got to have better vision, though.
Logan, shout out to your cat for joining us on today's show once again. On the defensive side of the ball, let's take a look from what you saw in the game. Obviously, Florida State. What's up?
I was going to give a shout out. Are we done with offense? I want to give a shout out to first off to Ward, because Ward was the only one that knew how to navigate against that defense, and there's a reason why he was your prime back. I mean, he knew how to go north and south. Benson was doing his thing again where it worked against Duquesne, but it wasn't going to work against LSU. And, better tacklers. But Ward just knew how to navigate and go north and south and hit the holes well, and not a lot of dancing where Trey Benson and they didn't feel Toafili was going to play a big factor in this game plan. It was all Ward. So shout out to Ward for his game. And then also in Terry Wilson. I mean, a guy that we didn't really talk about a whole ton this offseason, although he's been the most consistent along with Malik McLean. Veteran guy on the squad comes in and has a big, major game for Florida State. I mean, was SC top 10 left and right. The one-handed grab. You've got obviously the flea flicker down the field. Was just reliable for Jordan Travis on Saturday night. So I thought those were two guys that definitely impressed me. And it's just hard to not talk about Terry Wilson, because he's going to be a playmaker for the rest of the season for FSU.